What are you paying yourself today on the Daily Is Show?
5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0, ignition, liftoff.
Hey everyone, welcome to the Daily Is Show, a show not just for rental housing providers, but anybody who is looking to be a little bit more time wealthy, have a little bit more white space on your calendar. Welcome. Yes, I have a little bit of a different setup. I'm actually standing behind this mega desk, if you know the show The Office. Yeah, I've got them set up on, it's about as hillbilly as you can get. My desk is set up on 4 different cinder blocks right now, so I could stand up, and I kind of like this setup. I don't know. I kind of like it. Anyway, I hope you guys are having an amazing Friday. And there we go. We'll try that overlay there. There we go. So hope you're having an amazing Friday. It has been a really good week. It's been a busy week. And can't seem to get my overlay working. There we go. Whatever. We'll work on that. But yeah, it's been a really busy Friday. So what we're talking about today is what are you paying yourself? And I got into this conversation quite a bit this week with folks who are really excessively time weary and really looking to get more white space on their calendar. It was really funny because I was reminded of a story that I've told before on the show, and it was just one of those things where I wrote about this in the Time Wealthy Investor 2.0, which if you'd like to get a free copy of it, just go to my website at landlordcoach.com, and you can get a a copy of that for free, just to pay shipping on that. But so one of the interesting things about this that again I wrote about in the book was there was a time back when I was running ragged. I was working my tail off, and I was probably working 70, 80 hours a week. And it was interesting. At the time, I had belonged to a BNI chapter, and if you're not familiar with BNI, it's a networking organization, and that group was so important for me, not just in getting referrals, which I didn't get a lot of referrals at that point, but it was really like having an unpaid board of directors, almost like a mastermind group that I could ask questions of folks who were just in that room that really helped me out in ways that I could never repay them. And this one guy, Jeff Turner, who he owned a ServiceMaster franchise, and the guy was just fantastic in terms of how he's ran his business. His business was just it just ran well. It just was a well running business, and I was dragging myself in by my own collar. This meeting started at 7, so of course you had to get up with the chickens just to get to this meeting on time. So getting up in the middle of the night, meet at 7 o'clock in the morning, and of course I'm dragging myself in by my own collar because I'd worked all night. And I get in there, and Jeff was the kind of guy I wanted to impress, and he he asked me. He's standing there with his mug of coffee, standing there like this, and I said, hey, how's it going? I said, I'm all right, hanging in there, right? And I guess I'll sleep when I'm dead at some point, and said something cute like that. And he's like, well, what's got you so busy? And I said, well, I'm just doing all the labor right now, doing all the maintenance, the showings, I was doing everything in the business at that point in time. I had 90 plus rental units, and I was doing it all. I was answering the phone. I was doing, opening all the mail, doing all the bookkeeping, the banking. I was basically doing everything, all the leasing, the showings, the cleanings, painting the apartments. I was doing everything. And I said, I guess it'll slow down at some point. And he says, well, okay. And he says, what would you have to pay someone to do some of the work that you're doing? And at that point in time, now keep in mind, this is probably back in 2000, 2004, 2005, maybe. And he said, what would you have to pay to have someone do some of this work for you? And I said, I don't know, maybe $10 or $12 an hour, which at that point in time, it may as well have been $1 million an hour because I was just broke. I said, I don't know, $10 or $12 an hour. And he goes, interesting. He goes, when you realize when you're doing that work, that's what you're paying yourself, right? And I was like, holy crap. No wonder I'm broke. And he was that set me down a path which was so incredibly it just changed so many things for me, because I was doing this work so I didn't have to pay someone else, but it was preventing me from doing things that were a much higher use of my time, much better use of my time. things like maybe getting better, better properties, getting better deals on properties, finding better money sources or whatever. I mean, eventually writing a book and these sorts of things. But I could never have done that if I stayed down that path of doing jobs that were 10, 12, $15 an hour. The math just doesn't work. You're never going to be wealthy working 10, 12, 15, even $20 an hour jobs for yourself. It's just not going to happen. There's just not enough hours in the day. And it's interesting now, if you can do that, if you can provide for your family and live your life, and it's not in your sphere, it's not your goal to be wealthy, then fine. I'm not going to say that you should change it. But if that's what you're looking to do, if you're looking to get, more money in your life, so because you've got different goals, then you need to look at things differently. And that's exactly what I was doing. I was working 80, 90, 100 hours a week doing these 10, $12 an hour jobs, and it was never going to get me any more than what I was already doing at that moment in time. So that's why I asked the question, what are you paying yourself? Because realistically, if you are doing those jobs, which you could easily pay someone else cheaper to do, that's the work that's what you're paying yourself. Now, for some of you who are making $100,000 a year or $150,000 a year, that $100,000 a year divided by 2080, which is the number of weeks or number of working hours in the year, you're making roughly what, $52 an hour. So if you're doing a job that you could pay someone else $16 or $18 an hour, then you're costing yourself roughly what, $35, $38 an hour when you're doing that work. And that's real dollars. So that's when you really start to have to look at, what it is that you're paying yourself, and start to be really brutal about the work that you allow yourself to do and the work that you won't allow yourself to do. Now, you could be, extreme where, someone did the math one time that it cost Oprah money to bend down and pick up $100 bill, right? Or something like that, something crazy, because the amount of time it would take her to bend down and pick that up, it actually cost her money because she's worth more money in that period of time. I think it was maybe a $20 bill. But the point is that your time is worth, you have a unique genius zone that you're working within, that stuff that you do that is naturally easy. It doesn't even feel like work to you. It's just stuff that you enjoy, like coaching and teaching for me. I love it. It doesn't even feel like work to me, and I could literally do it all day, and I might be physically tired by the end of the day and probably a little bit emotionally tired because I'm working with clients and trying to get them to better states of themselves. But that's just because I'm being awake. But at the end of the day, I feel recharged. I'm like pumped up. I had an amazing day. But when I'm doing and working in this crappy, just slugging through and working in this awful stuff like just returning emails and just getting on administrative calls. I mean, stuff like that just absolutely wears me out. So this is where you need to start getting really brutal about the stuff that you can do and the stuff that you're great at, and you're where you can make the most money. It doesn't even feel like work, versus the other stuff that you need to farm out, like the bookkeeping or operational stuff or marketing or whatever it is, the stuff that you're not good at, and get that over to someone else where it's in their unique genius. And all of a sudden now you're operating at your very best and you're making the most money and you're living your best life. So just great question to ask is, what is it, what are you paying yourself? And really starting to get really honest with yourself about the answer. All right. Well, that's all I have for today, everybody. I hope you had an amazing week. It's a beautiful, gorgeous day out there. Of course, it's only 28 degrees, but it is a beautiful, beautiful day here in Indiana. Bright blue sky and the snow on the ground. It is absolutely great. Ready for spring, though. I am absolutely ready for spring. And of course, it's super exciting because we found out this week that our family is expanding, which is super, super cool. Last Wednesday, we found out that we are expecting another addition to the Dolfini household. So thank you all for your well wishes. I think that's it's been a true blessing. And my bride and I, we had our first ultrasound today. So I thought that was pretty cool. But anyway, all right, guys. Well, have a great rest of your day. Please be sure to place a value on your free time, because if you don't, someone else will. But most important, there is no amount of money that will make time irrelevant. Have an awesome day. Have a great weekend. And we'll see you next time.